Welcome to the Life Matrixx Podcast. This is the very first episode. We did have a teaser episode with Lauren Mariani a couple of days ago to announce her wonderful masterclass. Lauren is an absolutely beautiful person who just does such amazing work. So please, if you missed that, tune in for the replay. You can find it on her website, which is in the notes for that podcast episode with Lauren. So today I wanted to kick off this podcast with some information about me, for those of you who do not know me, and talking a little bit about why I'm calling this podcast the Life Matrixx. And there is a lot of really interesting information that is kind of flowing to me that I want to share with you. So I'm very excited about that. So first of all, some of you may know me as Michelle Williams. I am in the process of changing my name to Alana Dance. So I will talk a little bit about that and where in this Life Matrixx that actually came up for me. So it's very interesting how everything just kind of lines up and comes through, which is, what we are doing here in the human experience is listening and seeing what comes through and what feels good for us. We are all living in a matrix in our life, many matrices. Everything in itself is really a matrix. And as we are in this human experience, we are figuring out how to navigate that matrix, how to allow that matrix to work with us and allow our lives to really flourish. So all of the things that we are experiencing, everything that we are doing, all the actions we're taking, all of the programming, the things that we are learning are playing into this matrix that we have in life. And the reason that I created this podcast is to help people understand that and to help people find ways to move through it easy. Because we go through life a lot of times with the belief that it's hard, that things need to be difficult, that we need to struggle, that we need to hustle, that we need to work our butts off to make any amount of money and to survive. And that's not true. The matrix that we live in allows us to experience different things within our lives that we can shift and change to also change the energy, which is the matrix. It is the energy around us. It is what is creating a reality. And I'm so excited to share with you several people that I am interviewing are going to bring in some information that can help you. And also I'm going to be doing some talks with just me for other things that are coming up as well to help you in understanding that matrix and how you can move through it. We all can. Everybody's different. Everybody needs a different type of thing that can help them shift through their life and really create the life that they desire. And that's perfectly fine. And that's what this podcast is meant to do, is to help you understand different things that you can do in this life to make it into what you want to be and how you want to feel and how you want to live, so you can navigate that matrix in a very flowful, very easy way. So for me, I received the calling to help others several years ago. I was in a very difficult point in my life. I was not doing well with the matrix. I didn't even understand anything about energy. I had absolutely no idea that I could really do things to help myself in this life. And once I really, really hit a point to where I just boiled over, I was having health issues. I was having issues with my job, with money, with the people in my lives and all of my relationships. There was all kinds of things just not going well. And it was one thing after another, after another. And in my signature talk, if you've heard that, I talk about jumping in and out of the frying pan of different aspects of my life, whether it was my career, my relationships. I just kept going from one to another, making the same mistakes, recreating the same thing, just in a different way with different people. And I thought that that's how life was supposed to go. I thought we were just kind of going with the motions and working through it as things happened. I didn't realize that there was so much more at play. And once I started to realize that and understand that, my life started to change in very dramatic ways. I realized that the job that I was in, I wasn't supposed to be in, but I also understood that I needed to have those experiences with those people and all of those jobs leading up to that moment to get me to where I am today. So while at first I didn't understand it, I soon realized that there wasn't any regret. I was able to leave that regret behind, that I wasted so much time in my life. And I was able to accept that I needed to understand and learn those things through those experiences to get to where I am today, to really fulfill what I'm here to do and learn and experience and to help others. So as I went through that, as I understood that, I really tuned into all of the different experiences that I had in my life. And I figured out, okay, I was supposed to learn this because of this. I was supposed to learn that because of that. And that was really putting the pieces together within my life. And it really helped my life flow so much better. So as I started to understand more that I needed to shift out of that job into a new experience, my life started opening up. I started receiving different signals, different things within me and within my surroundings. I received several healing modalities that I can use to help myself, to help my family, to help other people. And they have been very, very impactful in my life. I'm still learning. I love to learn. I'll talk a little bit about that in a couple of minutes, but all of these different things started coming to me, and I was putting the pieces together, trying to figure out what was I creating with this. And it took several years to really figure it out and to move through that energy and to shift out the old patterns and to bring in the new things that I wanted to experience. And I needed all of those different modalities, all of those different things and the different people that I was bringing into my life to actually do that. So as I shifted through that and as I navigated and learned all of these things, I got to know myself in the best way possible. I'm still learning about myself. I'm still learning about other people. As I'm sure you know, there are many, many aspects to ourselves. And a lot of people don't know themselves. There is a question of, what do you want? Who are you? That people just don't know how to answer. And that's because we have so many other things at play that are shifting our perspective of ourselves. There is the things that we learned in childhood. There's ancestral beliefs and programming. There's societal beliefs, all of these different things, the things that we learn in school, the things that we learn from the media that are playing into, oh, I'm supposed to be like that. I'm supposed to act like that. I'm supposed to look like that. I'm supposed to have that job. I'm supposed to make this amount of money. All of these things are affecting us, and they are creating the life that we live. And if you're not living a life that you absolutely love, then there's something that hasn't fully revealed itself to you that will allow you come in to that true place of who you are, which will allow you to go into a life that is absolutely freeing and joyous and happy and exciting, and one that you love every single day and that you're excited to wake up to every single day. I did a post on Facebook this morning about all of the things that I accomplished before 10 a.m. And it was funny because when I woke up, my dog got me up about 6:30 this morning, and we went through our routine, feeding her, getting my coffee. And then I sit outside in the morning and I just watch and I listen, and I'm grateful for everything around me. And I look at the grass and I look at the trees and I look at the birds and see that abundance that they have and watch everything. And as I'm watching that and I'm feeling it, I see what comes into me. And this morning I got a lot of great information about some of the things that I needed to do, some of the things that I needed to incorporate into my life and into my business to help my clients further themselves, which was fantastic. And then I just had this great wave of energy come over me. And I usually do after I do that in the morning, but this morning it was a different energy. I knew I was going to come in here and record this. I knew that I was going to do a couple of other things. But when I sat down at my desk and I wrote out all of the things that came to me, and I looked at the different things that I needed to do with my podcast, and I understood, okay, I needed to have all of these things in place before I launched on Thursday. And then I needed to have all of these things in place so I could put out the teaser episode and all of these different things that needed to happen. I didn't get overwhelmed. I sat down, I went through each of them, and it aligned and it worked perfectly. And when that happens, I know that I am in the flow of myself. I'm in the flow of what life is, of what I'm doing in this life. And I just got so excited when I looked at the clock and it was only like 9:45 in the morning and I had gotten all of these things done, that I decided to share that. And it was just amazing to be able to do that because life is supposed to flow with you. And that is what it's supposed to feel like. It's supposed to feel easy and you're supposed to be excited and passionate about what you're doing. And if you do run into resistance, which we're human, we do, taking a step back and understanding, okay, what is that? Why am I experiencing that? Because there's a reason for that. What is it? Tuning into yourself and understanding, okay, I'm creating this because the matrix is bringing in all of this energy. It's bringing in the stuff that I'm creating in my life, right? So why am I creating that? And I understand that it could be a really difficult thing for some people to wrap their heads around, to understand that we are creating everything and that we are bringing in the energy to us. But like attracts like, the law of attraction. It's a universal law. It is. It's just something that is. So if my mindset had been different, if I had have just gotten out of bed and got my coffee and was frustrated that I had to do all these things and let any overwhelm come to me and push into my energy, my morning would have went very, very differently. I probably wouldn't have got any of the things done that I had gotten done. When I used to get overwhelmed back when I was working in my old job, I would shut down. I would do every single thing that I could to not do what I needed to do because I was so overwhelmed I didn't know where to start. But instead, going with the flow, I let the energy come to me. I felt into what needed to happen, and I was easily able to take that path and get it done. And now I'm recording this. It felt right. I thought about doing it yesterday, but the energy didn't feel quite right. So today was much better. So understanding that there are so many more things at play in our lives. And that's partially why I learned so many different modalities and different things. For one thing, like I had said, I love to learn. I love to read. I love to watch videos. I love to learn and learn about myself, understand more about myself, learn about the things that are affecting us, and then learning technology, understanding how I can help people with all of those things and putting them together. I love to do those types of things. And I never quite understood it. And one thing that I did notice was when I was in college, I took classes that I was required to take. I went into a degree field that I thought, based on what society wanted me to do, was going to be good for me, that had room for growth, that had expansion. It was relatively broad. I hated school. I hated reading. I hated writing papers. I hated doing any of that stuff. I did the minimal amount possible. Actually, I was talking to my mom the other day and I told her that I used to keep a spreadsheet when I was in college of all of the assignments for every class, how many points they were worth, and what is the lowest amount of effort I needed to put in it to pass. So I would have calculations in my spreadsheet that would show, okay, if I got a 10 out of 10 on this assignment and I got an 8 out of 10 on this one, and I looked at all of that all the way down, and then if I looked at the bottom line, I'm like, okay, I could skip these 3 assignments, but I would still have a B. So, and that's fine with me because I wasn't striving for A's. I just wanted to finish. And that's what I did because I felt like I was very forced into what I was learning, and I hated it. I had all these books that we were required to get. I never read any of them. I did the minimal amount possible. When I was working in a group with people, I did put in more effort because there were other people depending on me. But when it was for myself, I did the minimal amount possible. But I passed. And I did have to retake 1 or 2 classes, but that happens. So, but I really went above and beyond in my college career because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. I got 2 master's degrees, and because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. And I hated every second of it. So I basically tortured myself through college until I think I got my last degree when I was 27. Until I was 27 years old. I also didn't like, I did the same thing in high school. I didn't have the spreadsheet where I calculated stuff, but I just did the minimal amount possible in high school too. And I absolutely hated it. So once I shifted out of that energy, I got through all of that, and I really started to understand myself and learn more about, I dove into self-development. I did all these different things. I kind of stood back and I was like, why do I love to learn now? I absolutely hated learning when I was in school. And it didn't take me too long, but it took me a couple minutes to really think about that question and realize it's because I was forced into it. I felt like I was forced into it. I had the decision, of course, that I could do whatever I wanted, but from a societal perspective and what my parents had told me when I was growing up and all these things, I felt like, I needed to do that. I needed to get anywhere in life, really. But now that I'm doing something fun that I love, that I'm drawn to do, I just absorb all of it. I love it so much. And one of the things that I have studied, and I'm still continuing to study because it's a very big subject, is human design. And I help my clients with understanding their human design because it just opens up so much within you. It really helps you understand who you are. Just by one simple reading, understanding your type, understanding your profile, it really, really opens you up to understanding who you are. It answers that question. Right? It answers it on a very small scale. There's still a lot within us that we still need to work through to understand because we're conditioned to be what everybody else wants us to be. But as soon as I had my first human design reading and I started to learn it and I started to understand it, of course, I have like 100 books and different classes and things like that because I just love it so much. I actually realized based on my profile, actually, there's two things that I realized. So I'm a 4-1 profile manifesting generator, and the one line in my profile is the investigator. It's the learner. It's the person that needs to learn and understand things. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. That's why I'm diving in. I need to investigate things. I need to understand the intricate details of a lot of different things, not everything, but some things it's nice to have. And then also in my design, there's a gate, the gate 48, that is also the energy of needing to understand and needing to learn things. So I have both of those. So that makes complete sense. Looks like it didn't really come into effect that I'm actually now living by that aspect of myself in a healthy way. Whereas before I was being pushed into it and it was very unhealthy. And that's why I didn't enjoy it. So it was really interesting when I saw that. I kind of like took a deep breath and took a step back. I was like, oh, that's why. That makes perfect sense. And I was able to accept that part of myself and make it fun. And then from a manifesting generator perspective, so that is my type. There are 5 types. And that also opened up my eyes to a lot of different things. I have to be working on multiple things at one time. I'm a huge multitasker. I always have been. I do not know how to not multitask. Even right now, as I'm recording this, I want to like do other things, but obviously I can't do that. I have to have multiple things going on at the same time. And if I don't, I feel like I don't have a purpose. Like I need to do more. I'm not the type of person that can just sit around and watch TV all day or sit around with friends and have conversations about nothing and not doing other things. So of course, while I don't want to be rude to my friends and the people that I'm with, I try to make sure that I express that energy and use it in a healthy way. But I got to a point in my life with different relationships and things like that, where I thought it was boredom, where I just couldn't spend another Friday night kind of sitting around doing nothing and talking or what have you. Of course, that was that interaction. That was great. But I just couldn't spend another weekend doing that. So I kind of started to relinquish myself from that environment so I could do other things, so I could grow myself, so I could clean my house or whatever I needed to do, because I just got to the point where I felt like so purposeless in those situations. And I found myself doing that a long time ago before I even understood my design. But now that I understand that and I see that in my life, it makes complete sense. And again, I'm able to accept that of myself, and I know how to navigate it now. I know what situations I can be in where I'm comfortable and I'm able to only do one thing. Another thing with the manifesting generator that I've come to accept, and this one has been a little bit more difficult, is not finishing things. I'm really, really good at starting stuff. I am great at buying all of the things I need to buy to do this project. And I'm great at starting the project. I am not great at finishing it. I've got a lot of different things around my house that need to be finished. And, that can be a little difficult for anyone, because they don't finish something, they potentially feel like a failure. They can't finish it. But that's not the case for everybody. I'm not supposed to finish things. So what I have done recently to help myself with this energy is not looking at putting something together or organizing a room as finishing it. Because once I finish that project, it actually opens it up to initiate something else, to be something else. Now that room is complete and it's in a way that I want it to be, and the furniture is organized and it's decorated how I want it to be, now I can start doing something else in that room. It's a different energy. So it's not a completion. It is just a continual project, a continual thing that I'm working on. So looking at it in that perspective is very different, and it allows me to continue moving the energy to complete and continue the projects that I need to. And also, when I sat back and looked at that, I noticed how that was affecting or coming into play in my earlier career as well. I had jobs where there was nothing that needed to be completed, or I found myself working on projects that the dates kept continuously being pushed out and pushed out and pushed out and pushed out. It wasn't completing. And that's because I'm not supposed to complete, right? And of course, there's a lot of people that are involved in those projects and those things at work. It's not just my energy that's controlling it, but I put myself in that role, in that position with that, because it wasn't going to complete, because I'm not supposed to complete things. So it's really interesting when you look at it from that perspective, how much the energy of ourselves is really creating the things that we have, and how we can shift that and mold that and change that into something that helps us. It helps us create what we want to create, what we need to create. And that's the matrix. Those are the energies that we need to play with to move through the matrix. It makes me think of that movie when, well, I haven't seen that movie probably since it came out, but when the woman is moving through the matrix, trying not to, to set off the alarms or whatever she was doing. I can't remember, but moving through that in a very fluid way is how we're supposed to go. We're not supposed to bust through it. We're not supposed to set off all the alarms. We're not supposed to break that energy. We're supposed to guide it and mold it and have it shift to us as we move through that. And understanding my design from a human design perspective really helped me. It helps my clients. It helps us be able to work together, because we all have our own matrix of our lives, and then we're also in the lives of other people. So all of the matrix are coming together, creating one big matrix for our experience, for the universe, for the world. And well, more than the world, because there's a lot more out there, right? So understanding how to navigate that is really, really important. And another thing that came up for me to help me shift and navigate through this matrix was my name. And I made a decision a little while ago, not too long ago, to look and evaluate my name and to change that to fit who I am today. So our names are obviously given by our parents when we're born. We have no control over that until we get older. But for me, I just decided to change it because it felt right. And it feels aligned with where I'm at in my life right now. Whereas my old name didn't. My life has changed drastically in the last about 4 years. And I actually do feel like I'm a completely different person. Of course, I still have some of the same friends. I have the same parents. I have the same family. I have the same dog. But I am in a completely different place. I am in a very different energy. I am living in a new state, in a new town, in a new house. I'm in a new career. I'm just a completely different person. And part of the things that's helping me move into that new life is also getting a new name. So that's pretty much the history of the name and why I'm shifting out. So it's kind of my little announcement for that. And the energy of the name is different. Our names have energy, and the energy of this name is much more positive than my old name. And I'm ready to bring in that positive energy. I also changed the name of my business. I did an evaluation of business names and changed that as well. So that is also just being launched. I just set it up last week, filed the paperwork. So you'll see more on that as well. But I am launching this podcast under my new personal name and my new business name, which is Pathway to Freedom Entrepreneurial Living. So very excited about that. I've got a lot of different things coming up to help entrepreneurs really launch their business if they haven't yet, scale their business if they've already launched it, really help them get back to who they truly are and what they're here to do. They're here to help their clients. They're here to help people expand and to help themselves expand. And I help them do that by implementing a solid business foundation with all of their technology systems, their website, their funnels, their email systems, their calendar bookings, all of those things, to get them out of any overwhelm, any frustration, and out of having to deal with all of that and back to helping the clients, helping you, helping people that are ready to be helped. We're in a world now where people need help. And the more people that we have helping others, the better the world will be. So as I expand my business to helping entrepreneurs get themselves out there, they are also expanding. And that's a beautiful thing. And I am very excited to help them with that. And along with just the system and the IT and the technology aspect of it, I also help with the healing aspect of it, breaking through the past patterns that are keeping them stuck from putting themselves out there and finding clients, keeping them from bringing in the clients that they're supposed to be working with. There are huge mindset transformations that occur with the different healing aspects that I do are absolutely amazing. I work with a lot of different modalities that shift and change the beliefs. They shift and change the programming that we have received, change it into something that is helping us now instead of keeping us stuck in those past patterns, keeping us in the ancestral patterns that are holding us back in life. We really help to break through those so we can shift forward, so they can reach the people that they're supposed to help. So I'm very excited to do that. I don't necessarily just limit it to entrepreneurs. So if you are listening to this and you think that you don't fit into that category, reach out. I am definitely willing to talk to you and see how we can help. I try to keep my services open to help as many people as possible, but definitely making sure we are a good fit for each other is the best for both of us to make sure that we get what we need. Some of the different modalities that I use to help my clients and myself, of course, because we are always healing and growing and learning. I use theta healing to help with belief change. I use diamond dowsing and a little bit of feng shui to help with the home energy of the environment. I use spiritual response therapy to help with deep-rooted ancestral beliefs, past lives, clearing the energy from all of that. I use hypnotherapy, I use breath work, I do some meditation techniques, I use emotion code and body code. Also, I mentioned earlier, I use human design, and then I use the other healing techniques to help to decondition that design. There's a lot of different things that can be used to really help to shift the energy. And when I am working with a client or a group of clients, I tune into the energy to see what they need so we can help to release what they need to release and to shift what they need to shift. I'm outlining a larger program to help decondition our design, our human design, to allow us to get back to really living our blueprints. So along with all of those, I help with the business side of it as well. So using the all-in-one platform that I offer to stand up the foundation of the business, to build the websites, to create the funnels, to help get the free information out there, to help bring in leads within your area and other areas that you're looking to work in, to implement booking systems and calendaring. All those things are in one system. They talk to each other. It's fully automated. It's absolutely amazing. I spent so much time and money on trying to find the systems that I needed to run my business. And I am here to help those who are in that same situation, whether they're just starting or have been in business for a while and they're looking to scale or they're looking to make a change. When I first started talking to a lot of these coaches and healers and figuring it out for myself, I realized that so many people that are wanting to start a business now, they don't have the technology background. They'll buy a system and then they realize that it doesn't do what they need it to do. So then they have to buy 5 other systems that they need to implement to talk to that system. They don't know how to get them to talk, or they have to spend another monthly fee or whatever to use this to make them talk and to integrate all of them. And it just turns into a nightmare. And then when they're looking to hire a VA, they feel like they can't hire a VA because the back end is so chaotic that they barely know how it's standing and working. They feel like they can't bring any help. And then all of that time is being wasted when they should be working with their clients. So I help fix all of that, which is great. And then I also have a resource library, kind of a hub of just different things that people need to run a business. I have legal services that people can purchase and sign up for that are absolutely great. They'll review, your disclaimers and your policies and help you if people aren't paying you, things like that. There's all kinds of things that they work through. They also help to protect your identity in your business as well. I have different affiliates that I work with for different types of training, whether it's coaching training, or if you wanted to get certified in human design or something like that. I have different people that I work with for physical products, spiritual products, different things to help move the energy within your home. So there's a lot of different things that I have access to, a lot of different resources that I have kind of gathered over the last few years to really help build my business. And now I want to help other people do that too. So they have one place to look and they're not sifting and trying to find things and finding that systems aren't working for them. So that's really, really what I'm passionate about, is helping people move through the stages of really trying to start and hitting those walls and feelings of failure, or like they're not going to make it because they don't know how to get everything set up and automated. And they're wasting time emailing people and doing all these things where you could have all that work for you. With that, and then the mindset shifts and the healing that we incorporate into that too, it is a beautiful platform to really, really get your business up and running, your life up and running, because you don't have to take all of that. There's pieces, again, like I had mentioned earlier. So that is how I am moving through my life matrix, the experience that I am living. And it's been absolutely fantastic. It took some time to get here, but the main thing is you have to take the first step. And until you take the first step, you're going to be standing where you are, you're going to be going backwards. And going backwards is not helping. It's actually making things worse, because then you're picking up other energies from the past. You're continuing to bring those forward and you feel like you can't go anywhere. Like things are getting worse. And that's because you're pulling all that energy back from the past and bringing it into your present, which is preventing you from getting to your future, the future that you want. Of course, every second is a second in the future, but you're bringing that energy into your future instead of letting it go so you can move forward. So I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for this wonderful first launch episode of Life Matrixx, Living Our Full Potential. You can find me on social media in the description below. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.